Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for staying tuned with me even though I've been out of service for the past 3 months. So I'm going to be making this luxury evening dress. I had an order for it and I just knew I had to record it for you guys. So I normally cut my outfits directly on the fabric. Like, I don't use pattern paper normally, but since I wanted to record this for you guys, I decided to use a pattern paper. So that is just the measurements that I was showing, and for this I'm going to be starting with the lower part of the dress. That is the skirt part of the dress. So for this I'm going to take out 16 inches and start my tape from 16 inches. That is 16 inches will serve as the top part of the dress. So from that 16 inches down, 9 inches is where her hip is, which is I think 23 inches, right? Yes. So I'm marking at 23 inches and I'm going to just mark it, extend the line, and then so I'm using the beginning of this pattern paper as my waistline. So I'm placing her waistline divided by 4, and I just went in by 4 inches. That is her bust point to bust point. So I marked at 4 inches, then I'm taking out half an inch dart, and the length of this dart is, I believe, 5 inches, 5 inches from the waistline. Yes, so I'm placing back that dart that I took. I just put it back in there, and I put in her round hip measurement divided by 4, which was 10.5 I think. And here I'm just connecting the waist to the hip point, and I'll be adding 1.5 inches sewing allowance, and I'm just going to connect it now. So for this dress, it's not like a fitted dress, it's more of a straight dress. So from that hip point, you are just going to draw a straight line down to the length of your dress, and that is what I just did. But I'm not going to use all of it for my pattern paper because I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to cut it off like this, because it's the same thing down to the knee to the ankle. So I'm just going to cut it off here so that I don't waste my pattern paper. So now I'm going to cut at the back part of this. So I'm measuring 1.5 inches, which is the zipper allowance. So I'll be placing this front pattern from that 1.5 inch. So you see, I just drew a straight line. So you see, yeah, and I'm placing the front pattern from there. So on the hip point, I'm going to leave that 1.5 inch, but on the waist, I'm going to mark out 1 inch. I hope you guys get it. This will stop the zip from bulging, and also allow space for the butt to sit in. Yeah. So here I'm just going to connect, you see, the waist to the hip. So you see we are going to have a slant line. Yes, and from that hip down too, I'm taking off half an inch, the same way I did to here. So now I'm just taking out the dart, but the dart for the back will be 4 inches. The front one I said 5 inches. So the dart in the front should be longer than the dart at the back. Yes, so that is what I'm doing now. I'm just going to cut it off, and for the back too, I'm going to cut off a shorter piece so that I don't waste my pattern paper. And as you can you see the back where the zipper allowance is? Yeah, so the waist is, the space on the waist, or the allowance on the waist, is smaller than the allowance on the hip, so that we will have a good placement for the zipper. So here I'm dividing my front pattern into 2. Please don't do this, guys. I just did it. Don't do it. You'll just be stressing yourself, because at the end of the day I had to use sellotape to put it back. I don't know, I was just in a hurry, so I just divided it into 2. Okay, no, I forgot that I'm going to be adding pleats to this front, so that is why I separated it. I totally forgot. So here I'm going to be adding pleats. There are just like 2 pleats there, and they are not really full pleats. They are just a little bit of, if you saw the picture on the front of this what's it called, this YouTube video. Sorry guys, it's been a long time. So from that hip, from the waist, I'm going down by 2 inches. 2 inches. So I drew 4 lines. So I'm just going to separate these 4 lines. Can you see? It's pretty easy to understand. Yeah. So this is what you do when you want to have pleats. So you are going to get another pattern paper, and then you are going to separate each line. So the more space you leave between each line, the more pleats you have. So me, I'm using 1.5 inch between each line. between each slit. So you see, this is what I'm measuring: 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch. So I cut out 4 lines, but I've ended up using just the 3 lines, so I'll have 3 pleats. In fact, when I was sewing it, guys, I ended up having just 2 pleats. So this is what you have when you use your sellotape. So you see, when you open it up, it's bigger, and when you fold it back in, it's your normal, you know, skirt. So here I'm going to be cutting the top part of this evening dress, and that is my niece that you can see by the side. Please say hello to her in the comment section. So for the top part of the dress, so I'm going to be drafting a basic bodice. I just marked out her shoulder, which is 7.5 inch. It's 7 inches but plus 5 inch sewing allowance. Then I marked out from shoulder to bust point, from bust point to under bust, then to waist point. For her waist, we are using from shoulder to waist, it's 17 inches. Okay, so here I'm just extending the lines, and you can see I'm fighting with my niece. She really made it hard for me. She refused to go to her mother, and she wouldn't let me walk, but I really wanted to record this for you guys, so I just had to make do with her. Yeah, so here I'm marking out the neck width on the shoulder, which was 3.5, and then from the shoulder I'm going down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. Then I'll be going down by 7 inches for the armhole. So here I'm connecting the shoulder slant line. Can you see I'm slanting it from the neck to the armhole line? Then here I'll be drawing a straight line. I'm just making sure that it's 7 inches so that I can have a straight line. Yeah, so I'm drawing a straight line from the slant down to the armhole line. So here I'll be marking out 4 inches, or no, 3.5, which is her bust point to bust point. I'm marking it on the bust point, on the under bust, and on the waist. I'm going to draw a straight line to connect it. Yeah, that is what I'm doing. Then I'm going to place 1 inch as that, so half inch on both sides, half inch from, you know, the bust point line and away from the bust down line. I'm going down by from the bust point down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it to the dart. So you see, just the basic bodice, guys. If you know how to make a basic bodice, that is just it. So yes, I'm extending the dart now, even though it's not important. We are just going to be stopping by the waist. And then here I'm just extending the lines. So here I took out the side dart. I took out 1 inch. Guys, if you are busty, or just generally, don't take this out until you have placed your round bust measurement. I just took it out because I don't know, I just did it because she's not really busty, so I figured it will not really hurt if I took it from the beginning. But normally you should put in your round measurement like this, then you take out the side dart. So the side dart is the difference between your front and your back, because the front is longer than the back by normally by 1 inch, 1.5 inch, or 2 inches. Okay, yeah. So here I'm just placing the round measurement and taking and measuring the dart and replacing it, just, you know, the normal bodice like I said. And I'm connecting from the bust point to the waist line. Yeah, I'm just going to draw a straight line. So as you can see, I did not add sewing allowance. So when I cut it off, I'll be adding the sewing allowance when I'm cutting it on the fabric. So here I'm measuring the armhole. It's 7. Yeah, so I realized that my line was not really up to 7. Yeah, so I corrected it now. So half of 7 is 3.5, and that's what I just marked. Then I'm went in by half an inch. Now I'll be connecting those points. Here I'm just making sure my curved ruler is, you know, placed well. If not, you will not have, you know, a really good armhole. So make sure that you place your French curve well. And here I'm just drawing out. Yes, so this is what you will have. I believe that is all you have to do is cut it out now, and that's what I'm going to do. Guys, thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for watching this video, even though like I have not been consistent. I know, like, I haven't posted a video maybe for like 3 months. I've been really busy, and recording has been hard. My phone, goodness, my phone has been getting so hot. Maybe it wants me to change it, bruv. I'm not in the mood to change a phone. Okay, yeah, so I'm not going to take out this dart from the pattern paper. I'm going to leave them until when I cut it out on the fabric, then I'll stitch it. I hope you guys get me. So now I'm just going to cut it out so that I can show you guys how it will look like when you put in this dots on your basic bodice. Like, it will look perfect. So here I'm going to show you. So you see, when you do this, the front part will lose 1 inch, then it will fit in with the back, because her front is 17 and her back is 16. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So here's my niece giving me her paper that I should draw a pattern on her paper for her. Yeah, so you see, this is how it will look like when you close in this waist that and the side that. You see, can you see that little puff that is there? Of course, this is paper. Your fabric will not be this puffy, but it will be a little bit puffed, and your bust point will sit perfectly when you do this. And this is the back bodice. So for the back bodice, it's the same thing as the front bodice. The difference is that you know, on the front, I went down by 1 inch before I applied my I went down by 1 inch from the bust point before applying my dart. But here you see the bust point, the dart starts exactly on the bust point. So this is what I'm showing you guys. Can you see? So you know, we took out 1 inch as the side dart on the front. So now it will now be the same length with the back, because like I said, everybody's back is shorter than the front, because you know, of our bust. Yeah, now we are going back to the lower part of the dress. So here I'm just making a little bit calculations. This is for that flare at the back. I made it detachable, or even it's not detachable, this is the same thing that you do. You just divide your waist by 2, which was 14.75. So we are going to be using 14.75 as the main measurement. So you divide it by 4, you see. So 14.75 divided by 4, I think it was 3 point something something something, but approximately I believe I used 4. Then you add 4 to how long you want this the flare to be. If you want the flare to be 50 inches, that is 50 plus 4. For me, I used 41 and 51 inch. So I folded 51 inches like this into a triangle, and I'm just marking out. So that round I did at the top is the 4 inches, and then you see I'm marking it around on the lower part. So you mark it, it's just like you're making your normal flare. Yeah, it's just, instead of using your round waist measurement, you use half of your waist measurements. Yeah, so here guys, if you want the flare, if you want the back of the flare to be longer than the front, so you add a few inches here. That's what I'm showing you guys. I'll later on in the video you see what I mean. So as you can see, I'm just cutting it out. You see, so you see, for the back I added like 6 inches, so that the front will be a little bit shorter than the back, and then it will flow just a tad bit on the ground. So that's what they did even for the picture on the video. So yeah, I just placed my pattern paper, and you see, I cut it out on the fabric. So this is how it will look like. Even though when stitching I reduced the what's it called, the pleats, I just wanted it to be very small pleats. So this is the remaining of the fabric. I'm just going to fold it into 2, then fold it into a triangle to cut out my sleeve. Here I'm just going to make a freehand sketch from the armhole parts. You can do this because I did this and it looks good. Okay, yeah. So I'm just making sure that it's her armhole. I believe I used 9. I just cuffed at 9, and that's what we have. And here I'm just measuring the full length of my sleeve, and I'm just cutting it out now. You see, I'm making sure that yes, this will be enough for her. Yeah, and that's it for the sleeve. Yeah, here I'm separating it because it's joined. Yes, so that's it for the sleeve, and that is all. Then you go and stitch in your dress, and this is what we have. So I didn't record where I was adding these pleats on the waist. So the pleat starts from the under bust, so you're going to cut off from your under bust down to the waist. Okay guys, and then you add pleats there. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'm back. I hope I will record more videos guys. I really want to do this, but it's hard. Okay, it's hard. So thank you for watching, and thank you for staying tuned with